Hey guys, my name is Simpzy. How you all doing? Welcome back to some more Rome Total War Remastered here today on the channel. We're back with episode 6 of my Scipii Roman Let's Play. Here today we're going to be dealing with our Egyptian war still. Pontus attacked me in the last episode, so I guess we have to deal with them. Cheeky, I know, right? Right towards the end of the episode, we got surprised attacked again. In similar circumstances to what happened at the start of this Egyptian war, I guess we can wrap up the Macedonians. We might even open up a front in Iberia against the Gauls and Spanish. So, we're still currently under the reign of Quintus Scipio Victor. He currently has the office of Pontifex. And Gaius Scipio has Praetor. Yeah, because Quintus was a former consul. The people love me, so does the Senate. For now. So, if you like the sound of today's episode, feel free to leave the video a like. Subscribe if you're new around here with notifications on. Let me know in the comments, feedback and suggestions for the series, and where you'd like me to expand and conquer. We're currently at war with Macedon, Egypt, and Pontus. They're our trade partners as well. Got to say a huge thank you to the Creative Assembly for sending me a free early access code of Rome Remaster and making this Let's Play possible. So a huge thank you to them and their community team. And thanks to Farrell as well. Okay, so we still are currently rallying up units from our main recruitment powerhouse, which is Sicily, and we've started to build up a new recruitment powerhouse in Greece. So we're going to be able to continually funnel units eastward from Greece and westward from Sicily. So Flavius can push back here. I think rallying up in Tingi's probably the play, because we've got a couple of units there. The Julii are dealing with Britain-occupied Gaul. I didn't think I'd be saying that. They did lose a really crucial port city of Patavium to the Brutii, who have now taken Thessalonica. I was kind of worried about the Romans, the Brutii and the Julii in this series, because us, the Scipii, were really outplaying them. They hadn't taken too much territory, but now they've managed to conquer a bit, because the Julii were basically gridlocked at Segestia for quite some time. Anyway, let's fight this one here today. We're going to start things off with a battle early on against Amuz the Wrathful. Now, this army is a lot better than mine, so we're going to have to play this one. A lot of chariot spam. They even have better quality infantry with their phalanx and maybe even their axemen. We're still fighting with Tier 1 Hastati trash. Normally at this time period when I'm attacking Egypt in the campaign, and same goes for any other Roman faction, you probably have Marian reforms by now, but they've sort of made that a lot harder in Rome Remaster. Anyway, let's get stuck into the Egyptians.
Brave warriors! I have won great renown through leading men to victory. I see no reason to change the habits of a lifetime today. Those men are the servants of Pharaoh. They think themselves our equals, but I think they are dead meat. They stand alone. No friend has come to this place to die for them. Does this not say something about their honor? They're standing among nations? They have been led here by strutting fools and blustering morons. Now they will pay the price. We outnumber them by a small margin. From such small beginnings are great victories crafted. We will use our many missiles to rain death upon them. They will beg for an end to our deadly storm. The gods have surely smiled upon us. The omens are so numerous and so in our favor that I cannot describe them all and still have time for a battle today. Some of us will soon lie dead. The rest will drink to their memory, but as always, we Romans will fight with honor!
Okay, let's start the deployment. Now, this army in Order Resolve would absolutely shred us, but I think there's a way that we can get a pretty decent victory, and it's a little bit cheesy. I think we're going to corner camp. We could, there's a couple ways to go with this. We could go with a checkerboard formation. I think with those chariots, there's just too many of them. Was there like 6, 8 or so? So we're just going to get flanked and overrun and surrounded. So I think our best bet is either not to engage this army in the open field or do a classic corner camp, noob box towards the back and see how we go. Use our Vilites, our Cretan archers, and Hastati, because we've only got 3 units of Principes. This army is fresh from capturing Thebes, because we've managed to take Thebes. That happened in the last episode. We had a field battle against the Egyptians with minus skirmishes in Siwa, but they managed to retreat. If we can fall back, I want to try and just get a couple of good victories against them, but this is going to be a tough fight. They have chariot supremacy, without a doubt. They arguably have infantry. We're going to have to use our skirmishes. That's what we're really going to have to focus on. So we'll set things up here. 2 on the flanks, on each, and the rest making up the middle. Vilites and Cretan archers and those slingers are really going to have to try and pull us through on this one. So Quintus, conqueror of Greece, hopefully can be known as the conqueror of Egypt. But he's getting quite old at the moment. He's in his 60s, so hopefully he can last a little bit longer. I've seen some crazy ages in Rome Total War, but usually faction leaders only last 60 below, really. Anything after 60, anything can sort of happen to the generals. So I will talk about some history here today. Maybe a little bit later I'll talk about Sulla and Marius, young Julius Caesar and Crassus, and the social war. But I want to focus on the battle first time, so maybe after. So the Egyptians are moving up here. We do have 3 full stacks against an Egypt which is controlling more than their historical territory and borders, obviously. But I mean, like, Egypt, the Nile, they've got that, but they've also got the Levant and various Seleucid holdings as well, which you have to watch out for. What a good-looking battle. Dust storms in the distance, very low visibility down in the deserts of Egypt, and Quintus has come out to play. Because we're so close to the border here, the pathfinding can be a little bit annoying, so we want to try and get this perfect. Our Astarte are on fire at will, so they should be able to get their peeler off, but I want this to be a lot more tighter than what it is. Okay, so we are attacking them at the end of the day, so we will have to take on some impetus to go forward, but sitting back here, cool, calm and collected. Hopefully we can bait them forward, bring them into our battle. We don't want to be drawn into theirs, because on the open field, our Hastati, especially on very hard, is probably just going to rout. Quintus is a fantastic commander. He should be able to defend and hold his own. But slowly but surely, the Egyptian horde is making their way over the hill. The hoplites are now moving in. I can't remember the specific name of the Egyptian units, but those, like, essentially they look like Pharaoh's chosen, I would say, basically. They are very, very good. The Numidian hoplites, yeah, they basically act as tier 1 hoplites, which can be good, but very low armored, but they have infantry and cavalry / chariot supremacy, I would say. Okay, looks like they're rallying up. We don't want the timer to completely go out. We want to try and bring them forward. So I'm going to move up my archers. It is risky because those chariots, I think they're going to come now, though. We're going to have to fall back. We're not even going to be able to get that volley off. We might have enough of a distance to keep running, so that works straight away. Sometimes if you're attacking and want to bait the enemy forward, maybe just bringing up a general unit. Sometimes they take that as bait, or missile units tend to work. So the chariot's now coming in. Oh, that's so lucky. That could have been so venomous, that charge, if it didn't cancel at the last minute there. And now it's turned and we're getting our shots off. Did you see that wheel? Oh, that's hilarious. Rolling on its own. Well, let's get our Cretan archers that baited them up to try and hit them if we can. Okay, hang on. Oh, I was like, why are they out of position? It's because there's one chariot unit that's split. That's annoying. Well, quickly reform back into position. There we go. Perfect. Oh my god, if they just full sent all their chariots in, we probably wouldn't be able to hold them. Oh, hang on, there's a mistake here. There's a Vilite unit there. We need to quickly reform. They're not too close, nor they're charging just yet. Okay, so they're weirdly clustering here, so we should be able to hit them. More chariots are coming in. Okay, they're not actually fully going in, they're just actually skirmishing. Which we need to use to our advantage. Hastati, feel free to throw your peeler against the Egyptian horde. But this is the battle for Egypt. This is make or break here today. We can destroy a very decent army of theirs. Okay, they don't seem to be like fully charging, which is good. This is what I want. If they're going to sit there, idly by and allow missiles to hit, we'll take it, because we want the dub. Yeah, it's like there's not enough room for the amount of units that operate in the corner. Continue to fire into it, because we want to try and get rid of this army if we can. Yeah, but already that like one charge smashed those units. Imagine if we were like further out and extended. Like chariots are just so strong in Total War. We just need to be careful and meticulous in our approach, because we don't have Marion reform units just yet. Maybe a lot more cavalry would have helped, because I still haven't got my perfect army builds for this series yet. Because we haven't like, honestly, we haven't really consolidated and had time. We're just still continually losing troops and funneling out more, bringing the populations back. We're still very early on in the campaign, like turns wise, to be honest. Yeah, anytime they go forward, they're actually pushing us back slightly. Our Vilites here that don't have any javelins left can move up to secure, help and protect those Astarte holding the front line. They're like trying to cycle charge with their chariots, but they can't. Because they're so clustered, it's probably not a bad idea to use flammable shot, which I'm using. Just because they're so clustered. Because the thing is with arrow fire, the main problem is accuracy. And in some Total Wars, reload time. Increased damage, reduced accuracy, and reload time. We increase reload time. Or you can go with the standard shot, which is less damage, more reliable, hits their targets well. But seeing as they're so clustered like this, it's probably not a bad idea, because it can instantly kill units. Okay, so here are the hoplites that are moving up, the phalanx that I fear. I can't remember what they're called. There must be something, Pharaoh Guard or something. These guys are the cream of the crop of Egyptian units. The axemen are pushing up. We're going to be able to deal with their axemen They're actually not too bad of a unit, but against our Hastati, we should be able to outperform them. It's this unit here that we need to focus our skirmish shot on. But so far, still very close. If they hit us in one continuous wave, full force, maybe the battle could have been different. But slowly trickling against us is fine by me. My Cretan archers seem to have the most ammunition, so continue to get them to shoot. Most of my villetes now are out of ammunition, so we'll get them to draw their short swords and act in the second line, protecting the Hastati rear. Probably stops the Hastati from retreating as well, because they can't go backwards. Okay, I wanted to talk about the social war and Sulla after this battle, but it doesn't seem to be as micro-intensive as I thought, because we're just sort of chilling back here, defending and skirmishing where we can. We'll eventually try and push up once we're in a favourable position. But yeah, let's talk about the social war. So, already, previously, we've talked about the Gracchi brothers, we've talked about Scipii Africanus, the Punic War, and some various other stuff here and there. So let's talk about the social war. So, the social war occurred as the Roman military was roughly around about 50% made up of allies, Latin allies. So these allies were from the Italian peninsula. Now these guys wanted Roman citizenship, so the Italians and stuff, and they wanted profits from their conquests and to be treated as equals. From the allies' perspective, they saw that Rome and the Romans were taking advantage of them as they supplied men and supplies with only little reward, although contributing half of the army. Citizenship attempts were tried and failed, proposed by Tribune of the Plebs, Marcus Livius Drusus the Younger, who also tried to pass doubling the Senate equites from 300 to about 600. He also wanted land for the poor and cheaper grain. So the consul at the time, Lucius Marcus Philippus, denied these changes, and Marcus was assassinated. So this is still continuing on with political assassinations from Tiberius Gracchus. So, and as such, a war broke out between the Roman Republic and these Latin major belligerents, which were the Samnites and the Marsic. Now, unfortunately, both the consuls were defeated, but it took consul Gannicus Pompeius Strabo with Gaius Marius and Lucius Cornelius Sulla commanding his armies to help the Republic to victory. So this is where Marius and Sulla get into the equation. This war could have been avoided if the Romans just gave them citizenship, and it gave rise to the powerful generals Marius and Sulla. So prior to this, Sulla and Marius have had an interesting relationship, let's say. In North Africa and Numidia, to capture the Numidian king Jugurtha, Sulla hatched a plan and eventually got him in chains and arrested, and Marius went back to Rome and took all the credit. And that's basically the story of these two guys. Sulla did most of the work while Marius decided to take most of the credit. And the two despised each other. There's so many stories about these two going back and forth. So let's talk about Sulla's life appointment of dictatorship. So, the dictatorship began when he returned from the Eastern campaign after the Mithridatic War in Anatolia, and he decided to march on Rome for a second time. He was angry already with the Senate giving his command to Marius, so before that he already marched on Rome after Marius fled to North Africa, because Marius, the old senile man, wanted one last command, and Sulla was already sort of getting ready with all the military forces. He also sent Gannicus Pompeius Magnus Pompey the Great, south to Sicily to finish off the last of the enemy struggles, and he got the nickname the Butcher Boy in his youth. So after this short little civil war against Marius, the Senate assigned Sulla as dictator. He later attained the cognoma Felix later in life, which means fortunate. Sulla then swiftly sought to reform and to try and stop, because Caesar ended up doing it anyway, but he tried to stop anyone marching like on Rome, like he did. Governors needed authorization to make and leave a province. He also increased the number of senators and quaestors, the age and term limit on officers, tribunate powers. He also banned the equites from juries, etc. And then in the process of these reforms came Sulla's prescriptions, a list created by Sulla, which led to mass terror in Rome. I think it was 8,000 nobles managed to get killed. It was an absolute bloodshed. Some were guilty of allying and having Marius sympathies, some were not. There's an interesting story of a young Julius Caesar being held and hiding from house to house to avoid the wrath of Sulla. But a lot of people were innocent. What's the best way to get rid of your political rival if you say he's got Marius sympathies? But the thing is, Sulla, after amassing all this power, going through all this work, he made the decision to step down, run for consul, and once his term ended, he retired back to his village where he later died. Julius Caesar later was like, what was the point of doing all that, and sort of criticized Sulla from stepping down when he had that power. But the story of Sulla and Marius and the social wars between the various Latin and Italian peoples is interesting. And this probably leads us on, well, to talk about in the next couple of videos the first triumvirate with Crassus and Pompey, and then later Gaius, Julius Caesar, Mark Antony, and then Octavian. Okay, we'll probably leave that now for the history. So some of the Egyptians have fled back here, and some of them are just standing still. So we'll try and skirmish as many of them as we can. I had to, I don't know if you saw, I had to kind of invert Quintus and his cavalry position slightly because we were getting clipped a little bit. The last thing we want is Quintus to go. Oh, but they are retreating there. But we should have a really good victory against the Egyptians here. Oh, we've managed to get rid of the enemy general, and that's it. She's all over Red Rover. Let's give chase to them. Good victory. Shout out to the corner camping noob box. Sometimes it's worth doing it. Okay, they haven't fled further back just yet. They're going to try and hold this position here. God, this is going to be so hard trying to attack it with Astarte. We're trying to flank where we can. I guess something like that will do. If they want to push one at a time, that's fine by me. Yeah, if there's any other aspects you think I should talk about historically, let me know. And I'll try and bring up some interesting stories. So I've got a couple units. You push in. We just need to be careful that we don't get flanked. So we want to try and surround these quickly now. Go about there. Pin them down. That's good. Good. They've routed. A glorious victory awaits against the Egyptians. So dealing with a lot of pikes and chariots is what you can expect about coming up against the Egyptians. It's just so much more difficult because I can't remember a campaign on Rome 2 that I have done where I fought these Hellenic factions without Marian reform units. Because they're just so good once you get those urban cohorts. And veteran legionaries, it just makes things so much easier. It's so hard for the AI to break them down. Like the Astarte can be weak at times. I should have countercharged there. because they're probably going to break. We can surround those phalanx on the right flank. Oh no, the enemy general's now routing. Let's continue. Oh, we've got one. Let's speed things up, because we want to try and run down as many of them as we can. The more we can get rid of, the easier we can push upon Cairo and Alexandria with impunity. But we've won a glorious victory here today against the Pharaoh. Maybe Quintus should get the name the Fortunate, because he has very much been in this campaign. In the deserts of Egypt, the Romans have quelled the Egyptians. The Velites there, drawing their short swords. Running on in to help out. Clear victory. We lost 700 while we destroyed 2,300 of theirs. However, their army was far superior than mine. They should have done way better. You can see how your faction is faring against others on the summary screen. Okay, cool. Is that the tip? A large army is always disorderly. Euripides. Well, I guess that kinda works well in that situation. There was a lot of moving parts because of the reinforcement, I guess. Numerically it wasn't large, but just we were sort of small and cohesive, while they were not. But a good victory here. 2-star command as well. At 61 years of age, Quintus Scipio still doing it. We've got more reinforcements coming over to Thebes to garrison. At the top of the turn, Quintus can continue. So, we'll build a watchtower firstly. Trying to think, should we push over the river? Now, it's actually Memphis, it's not Cairo. I guess Cairo isn't a city at this time. I don't know. Right. Let's move my fleet back north. That's where it's heading. So I can send units over against Pontus. Because you never know, they're probably going to attack us. What do Macedon want? Ceasefire? Do you have any settlements to give me? No. Maybe some money. They only have Bilazora. I'd accept peace for a decent payment. Maybe 1,500. Maybe more then. About 2,500. Oh, they accepted. Oh, sweet, I'll take that. I only wanted Larissa. I don't particularly want to go over to Thessalonica because then we're dealing with anything north. And I want to sort of focus on the south of the map. Then we're to block the port of Sardis, which we can do. Oh, Pontus has moved an army to Rhodes. That's not good, because they have taken the Greek-occupied territory in Helicarnassus. Okay, so we've got a small army here. We can deal with Quintus. He can run that down. 400 as well. Man, Chariots just smash us in auto-resolve. We lost more in the manual fight than that auto-resolve. And there was like nearly twice as many troops. Crikey. They still want to try and take this back. Alexandria and Memphis. So we just need to beat these armies back. Then we can push against the cities. We've still got an army free in Greece that we can probably move. We're still recruiting in Sicily. We have Flavius Scipio, who finished off the Carthaginians. He can move to Tingis, because we want to rally up with Gaius, the conqueror of Numidia. We'll try and send him to Spain, because I think we're right in Egypt. There's no point of sending him to Egypt. We can probably start up another front soon. We're getting to the position. Dacia has been destroyed. Okay. Yeah. I think we'll be able to open up that front in Spain against... Well, it's not against... Well, maybe against the Spanish. It's probably going to be more against the Gauls earlier on. It's like the Iberians have taken like Portugal, while the Gauls own actual Spain. Okay, so we are going to be able to make it to the port of Sardis, which is good, because look, you want to try and do as many Senate missions as you can, because you want to get those positions. And you want to keep it slightly high, so whenever, because I think if it's super low, you can't declare war upon the Julii and the Bruttii. I can't remember. I've never had it. I've never gotten to a point where I'm like, right, I want to declare war upon the other Roman factions, and I've not been able to. I can't remember which one needs to be super low for it to be negated. You get some nice bonuses for doing the missions. Okay. So, we've got Oppius Scipio here. Aulus as well. Publius. Two of Quintus's sons and his brother. Let's make them command an army. We'll move Valerius to Thebes. An adopted son of someone. Okay, we can probably push into Memphis. That first initial army looks manageable. The second one, not so much. We might have to actually get rid of this slave force. This rebel army that's outside. Okay, they've now been pulled back. Okay, that's not a favourable auto resolve that one. Move you up. Does that change things? Against the rebels, it does. Slightly moves them towards the pyramids. Might actually work that. Slightly is a bit of a bait. Okay, so we got Sextus here with a full stack, and with Nero with half. So I'll probably send these guys over to Pergamon. I'm surprised the Macedonians haven't taken by Lazora. We've also got some other generals here as well. We'll try and get them over to the new front in Spain. We'll move them to Tingis. Lucius Scipio's there. So we've got 2 stacks in Greece, 2 and a bit in Egypt, 1 in Sicily, and 2 in Tingis. So we're operating with a fair few armies. I feel like overall we're in a good position. It's just managing these multiple fronts. Okay, back down in Egypt we need to keep an eye on. We've still got this poor general going around building watchtowers. It's a watchtower life for me. I like to be able to see, even though it's probably not cost effective. Like, does it really matter if us not seeing down in the deserts? Probably not. Okay. Gaius is now Pontifex. And what else? Oh. Quintus is now back consul. The Senate and the people still love me quite a bit. So, we are still maintaining our positions, because mostly influence, yeah. The thing is, you gotta, like, if you want Senate positions, you need influence. The best way to get influence is either governing, or if you get a office, you can, like, compound the fact that you're in an office in a city. But I like to sort by sort of commanders, not necessarily influence, because you can always lose influence not being a commander, while as a commander you can always gain it. But these Egyptian reinforcements have sort of pushed out here. Yeah, there's a full stack that's landed in Rhodes, and it's been there for like a turn or so. I wonder what they're doing. Anyway, we should probably head on over to Pontus. So they want me to block that. Okay. It's like a landlocked port. I don't know if blocking it's going to do much. Okay. Let's move Sextus and Nero over to Pontus. I guess for all intensive purposes we got a a mission to block the Suez. Right. So who can... Okay, that army can go further north. That one can go into the bay. So Pergamon and Halicarnassus aren't actually that well defended. Temple of Artemis reduces religious costs by 30, which is quite a bit. Man, I've been telling you, that's way better off going east. You get so many bonuses which just like compound at an insane rate. So, looks like we're going into Asia Minor. Didn't expect that just yet. Nero and Sextus are going to be starting off the Mithridatic War. Lucius Scipio can head to Iberia while we're rallying up our military forces in Tingis. Gaius is over there after the conquest of Numidia, and Flavius after being successful against a small little fight against the Carthaginians. But Britannia are actually besieging Cordoba. Like, what? Okay, we need to deal with this other army. And we should be able to push into Memphis. They are bringing up more reinforcements, the hordes of Egypt. Oh, we've managed to open the gates there. Oh, that is very, very juicy. We can go straight in. Let's take it. Oh, that's so lucky, actually. There's only 4 units inside. Clear victory. And we shall... Oh, that's a lot, isn't it? I still think we need it to get that. The Great Pyramid increases loyalty of Egyptians to the owning faction regardless of culture. Oh, that's good. That's really good. Because we are going to be... Because as we're pushing into the east, a lot of this territory is going to be hugely populated and a little bit hard to manage. We're still trying to get Marian reforms, though. But yeah, it might get to the point, once we get it, we don't really need crazy populations spread back throughout our empire. We might be better off to exterminate. Okay, back north, we've got those armies that disembarked. For some reason, they're just, if they're going to sit in roads and not take it, I don't mind. So, Pergamon has an army here. They've also got Sardis as well. So... You're not the best commander, but we do have some incendiary pigs here, so I want to use them. Just for the meme, more or less. I don't think they're very good on very hard difficulty. So we'll push out here and have our first little skirmish against them. Actually, we might be able to take Sardis here because it's drawn them back. Are we going to be able to... Yeah, we are going to be able to draw out the garrison. There's only 4 units there. Well, I was open to either taking Halicarnassus, Pergamon, or... Sardis, but I guess Sardis is going to be the first base of Roman operations in Pontus. Marcellosaurus there, and Lucius is still coming over. Once we sort of rally up a bit, we'll push against them. Britannia has taken Cordoba. So far south. It's kind of crazy, the power between them. Like, we have trade with them. Like, I'd like your map information, honestly. And how much it's actually changed. Yeah. Oh, they've pushed out the Gauls. Man, it's crazy to see how many times Iberia has changed hands. Well... Look, we can wait for Lucius, but I don't think we will. I think we've got enough. Like with Gannicus, son of Gaius there, the mean. And we've got a couple of others here. So we should be able to... Like, looking at that army that has recently taken Cordoba, we should be able to do it numbers-wise, but they might even be a little bit depleted. Continuing through the end turn. Egyptians are slowly mobilizing. Faction destroyed Macedon. They have now bitten the dust. Sucked in. She's all over it, or over for them. Oh my god. Quintus Scipio Victor has died. Oh, rip. For Scipio, put it in the comments. Oh, and he just got consul as well. Suitable husband, sure. Right, well, this has caused a bit of a crisis because we haven't got too many crazy high-ranking commanders now. So Gaius the Harsh, he's 6. So anyway, the Conqueror of Numidia has now risen to the faction leaders. This is our 3rd faction leader that we've had. So who's been named the heir? Oh, Sextus. adopted son of Appius Quintilius. So I guess through like male preference primogeniture, that he could be the heir. It can't be. Yeah, I might have to rearrange this. So we've got a couple of options. Like you can personally go through influence, command, or management. I think I'm gonna go with command rather than like management or something. So there's a couple of options that we can go there. So we can actually see like the previous level and rank of past Scipio, which is kind of cool. Yeah. Quintus and Gaius are better than Cornelius. Because we've still got 2 remaining of Cornelius Africanus's children. So we've got Publius here. So he's like probably the future of the Scipii line, but he hasn't got the best command. Oh, yeah, so Sextus has the highest influence. That's why he got it. That's interesting. So I guess he convinced and influenced his way to the heir. So, command-wise, we have Marcellus, Oppius Scipio, Plasus, and then Quintus and Valerius. So, Ullius, he's the 4th son of Cornelius Scipio Africanus. I think we'll give it to Quintus's biological second-born son, Oppius Scipio, because he's got the command, he's younger, even though there were probably Lucius and his older brother and Uncle Ullius had more male preference. I think we should go by command, because I don't know. You can go. The thing is, we lost Julianus, so it stuffed up the whole male preference primogeniture anyway. Because it technically should have gone to Quintus's sons, but they weren't of age at all. They were ages off, so I went down to Quintus. So I've made the decision to make Oppius Scipio the faction heir, and he can continue on his father's legacy in Egypt. Although his older brother was spurned the heirship, he just simply didn't have the command. 3-star commander, 22 years of age. A casual there. Alright. So, Cornelius Scipio Africanus had 4 sons. Julianus died in the Punic Wars, his firstborn heir, which sent Quintus into a rage, conquering Greece and North Africa and Egypt. Sextus and Nero here are pushing over and going to take our first territory in Pontic territory, which would be cool. Gaius, who's now the faction leader, the third-born son, was the conqueror of Numidia. He's about to start an invasion of Iberia. We've also got the Temple of Artemis now, which will give us a minus 30% recruitment construction of religious temples, which is good because we're getting a lot of them now. Could have used it a lot longer ago, particularly in the conquest of North Africa, but so be it. So yeah, I think how we'll do it is we'll sort by command. That is the first preference. Then we'll sort by Scipii or Scipio and try and trace the family. So we do have a 3rd generation Scipii, who is now the heir. Second-born son of Quintus, favourite son. And his grandfather was Cornelius Scipio Africanus. So, we actually can get an imperial palace here now in Lilybaeum, which technically counts as an Italian city. Thankfully, I wanted to get Capua to Marinforms, our capital, which was originally, but it looks like Lilybaeum is going to be the largest city. So once that building is complete, we are going to be able to get Marian reforms. So let's move Gaius the Harsh, who is our best commander at the moment, our new faction leader, and his son Gannicus the Mean. to deal with Britannia. Now, we could cancel some of this stuff, because we are going to declare war upon them. Like, cancel trade. I don't think we've got much else. We can't, like, cancel map information. Like, it's already been done. I'm trying to think we're better off to do that, or are we better off to declare war and then take the reputation hit? I guess you could cancel trade, but we might just use it, because we already are trespassing now. Like, does it really matter about my reputation if we're going to destroy heaps of factions? You know what I mean? Like, who cares about your reputation if everyone's under the control of the Romans? Diplomacy is a game you don't really play as a Roman faction. Alright, we're going to move up here. We're going to attack the wild men of Britannia in Cordoba. What a conquest they've had. Sometimes England, Britannia, the UK play a very conservative campaign in Total Wars. Sometimes they sort of sit back to their island and don't do overly too much. But this Britannia conquered Gaul and conquered Spain. So we aren't at war with them because it's not really favourable, but we will soon be. Egypt smelling blood without the conqueror Quintus Scipio hanging about. Everyone seems fine in Sardis for now. We could maybe move some forces out to Pergamon. There's a lot of rivers in here that we have to watch out for. Move you here. Make sure Sardis is protected. We'll retrain Nero's army. And I want to try and get a watchtower in just so we can survey the area slightly, and then we'll push into to Pergamon and take it once and for all. We kind of got spurned on the inheritance historically, I guess, in this, with the fall of the Greek city-states. But we're going to take it back for ourselves. Alright, push there. It's kind of cool that Pontus rose to become the major power. With the Seleucids falling, we can actually have a proper and well thought out Mithridatic war. Well, we'll move Lucius Scipio here because do even the Gauls occupy this anymore? They do. Well, maybe we should just declare war upon them before Britons get in there. Oh, the faction leader of the Gauls was there. I'm sure there's a fair few hanging about. So, Lucius Scipio and Lucius Quintilius. Quintilius is the adopted line of Quintus Scipio. But how's everyone doing? Bilozora's gone. That's probably because of the Macedonians being defeated. Oh, where'd that army go? I do want to try and get more men over, more Principes. We're slowly phasing out the Hastati variant. We're going to be able to do it a lot more once we get Marian reforms. But it's taken us to 241 BC before we've even got close to getting Marian reforms. And we've conquered North Africa, now pushing into Iberia, and we've conquered a decent part of Egypt. So, I don't know where that army went, so we'll auto-resolve this one with Gaius, and we'll take our first piece of territory in Iberia. I guess we can start exterminating now. Yeah, they fled north. I wanted to play that. That's annoying. Well, Spain's still about, and the Iberians, they're basically taking modern-day Portugal, so we'll go up and deal with them. Okay, we'll repair this, eventually get walls. Yeah, so once we take Iberia, we could maybe push up and help out the Julii in Gaul, maybe? I don't know, let me know. Okay, so we want to try and give chase at the top of the turn. Yeah, they don't like Gannicus the Mean. We don't have the money. I was like, why can't we build in these zones? Too close to the bridge? Yes. Nope, we have no money. Okay. So they're just sort of surrounding us here. In Memphis. Oppius should be able to bring them back. Hopefully he can have the Cognoma Victor like his father and uncle before him. Now we are going to risk Memphis just for a little bit, just trying to plow these units back and push them away. We do have 1 unit of catapults now, but we are going to be able to use Memphis, Alexandria, once we get it, as a bit of a staging ground for the rest of the Egyptian territory. Man, Egypt is such a hard place to take. They are just pouring so many units across. What's this? Oh, okay. During the intern phase, Pontus have attacked the Brutii. We should have a big enough navy to help out. They were just asking for our assistance. They're even blocking the port of Messina there. You kind of forget that you need to maintain a rather large navy in this game. Oh, wait, Spain just attacked. Why does that happen? Trade? No. Or yes, or just like negotiations and then they attack. A worthy life ends, my diplomat. Lentulus. And some rioting in Cordoba and Memphis. Okay. We should be able to fix that. War's now broken out. They really just don't want to give up Memphis, eh? Well, we've got another army up to help. Yeah, they still haven't attacked Rhodes. It's so strange. Oh. An army of chariots has come out. I don't know if we push that, though. Maybe we're better off going to Pergamon still. Yeah. Because our army from Sardis can probably catch it if need be. I don't want to move too quickly, just in case they buffed up the garrison, but they didn't. So we'll move on in. Excuse me, we'll move on in, build some siege equipment, and we should be able to take Pergamon here. With Nero commanding the Pontic front. Yeah, maybe just getting all the ladders might be the best. The rams might even be a bit of a waste, because it just gets smashed so many times. 4 turns off Marian reforms there in Lilybaeum. Yeah, so you need 24,000 in population, and you need an Italian city to construct it. Like, you can't just rush down and take, I don't know, Memphis that has a huge population and build it. So they're running north against the Spanish, who we're now at war with. We'll build a watchtower here, and we'll allow Gaius just to continue to push up. There's no harm of him building watchtowers as he continues to run them down. I want to have a good fight against Britannia. Can we bribe it? I haven't tried to bribe an army in so long, just because there's no general inside. Okay, we're retraining in Cordoba. Let's go back down to Egypt and deal with Dionysus eventually. Still 1 more turn off Pergamon. And everything's fine over there. Recruitment-wise, we are bringing units over from Greece. Lucius Scipio, who, I don't know why he's not first there, but he should be. He's taken the command of Carthago Nova, a settlement constructed and built by the old Carthaginians, which I think has changed hands a couple times. Obviously Carthaginian held. Then, I guess, potentially Spanish owned, now Gaul, and then it's going to go to us. Well, unfortunately on that note, it's time to end the video here. Thank you very much for watching for episode 6. A lot of stuff has happened in today's video. Unfortunately, I couldn't get more than 1 battle. But we're basically sort of mopping up the territory in and around Alexandria and Memphis. We're moving everyone across to multiple fronts, so we should have multiple battles against Pontus and essentially the Barbarians in Iberia. But thanks guys for watching. Hope you've enjoyed today's video. I've had a blast, and I'm going to play the outro now. Unfortunately, guys, it is time to end the video here. Thank you very much for watching. Like and subscribe if you haven't already with the bell notification on. Let me know in the comment section down below feedback and suggestions for the video, and feel free to leave a dislike. If you want to support the channel and follow me on my social media links, they are all linked in the description below. We've got the series playlist that you can access. You can also have a look at my gaming and recording equipment. If you want to get yourself some cheap games, check out the links. You can support me on Patreon if you want. Channel members are available. Use creator code SimpzyTotalWar on the Epic Games Store checkout to flick me a couple of bucks. We've got Twitter, Discord, merchandise, Facebook, Steam group, Instagram, Twitch, and Google Plus links all in the description below as well. But above all, guys, make sure to take care of yourselves. Have a fantastic rest of your day. My name has been Simpzy. Much love from Australia. Goodbye.